All right, good morning, everybody. Glad you're here. Going to have a good class that'll require a little fortitude and good attitude. And so one of the things I wanted to start with was just, it's not about as much about what you're doing, it's how you're doing it and doing. And I'm not going to go out there and say a bad attitude is a bad thing all the time. Sometimes you might need to get a bad attitude about something to get the energy to get over it. So here's what it is. But I wanted to share with you something that just as we start, as part of what we do when we start. We're going to start in Tadasana, surprise. And I can make that a little better. And we're going to raise our arms up, but we're going to raise our arms up 3 different ways. And when we do that, I want you to really observe the difference in what each one of them does that's slightly different than the others. And so stand in Tadasana, find your feet, and then find the front of your feet, like, maybe raise your heels very slightly, and then lean back on your heels, maybe raise up the front of your foot, not that much, and maybe just your toes, to bring your weight a little to your heels. And you could do that several times. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but it gives you a way to find yourself in space and to refine that, okay? So then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to move into our Tadasana. So big toes together, heels can be out if they need to be, but eventually heels and toes are together. And you can notice there's a space between my legs here, but it used to be much bigger. You can see that. So I've learned to bring my legs much closer over time. And for those of you who have arches, fallen arches, or foot problems, this kind of detail is important. So bring the weight a little bit onto the heels, not so much that you fall back, but more on the heels. And you'll feel automatically that the legs go to work more. So help that. Remember these upper outer thighs. We're going to use that a lot today. So grip these upper outer thighs in and the inner thighs out, and the front thighs up, and the back thighs up and broad. The glutes firm inward, inward forward, not inward toward one another. The very tip of your sacrum, your tailbone itself, sorry, goes down. The sacrum and the spine go up. And when you do that, when you have that very tip going down and the rest going up, what you get automatically is a lift in the abdomen and up through your trunk. So now we want to think about helping that abdominal lift and strength. Think about pubic bone, tailbone, moving toward one another, and the pelvic floor will lift. And it doesn't matter gender, that will happen. And then think about, are you lifting your trunk equally front and back? All right, so head, don't want to be, I'll do this way, this will be better. Let me show you my bad habits here. Not that, right? You see how that got short and that got longer. So we bring these thighs back, this tailbone forward, in and up, lift equally along the sides of the spine. Then if you take, and you can see these shoulders want to roll forward. If we roll the shoulders back and down, not to pinch them, but to let them move toward the center and come from the tip being out to the tip being into the spine. And if you have a lifetime habit of doing this, try this. Take your arms to the side. Remember, we call this Oive Asana. And so you can scrub those elbows forwards and the hands back, and that will help the scapula, the shoulder blade, move into the rib cage. And you may feel a little length in your neck. Then palms down without disturbing those shoulder blades. Be careful, especially if that's a habit. Okay, and bring your arms to the side. And can we get all of this together, crown of the head up high? Establish just a slow, steady breath. Now then, we're going to rotate the entire arm from the shoulder socket. Rotate your entire arm. Feel what that does to your shoulder blades without even bending the elbows. Extend them down. Feel what that does to your shoulder blades. Keep these arms poker straight. Keep the shoulders down. And right about when you get about halfway up, you have to tell them you need to stay down. Most of the time, they want to go up with you. Keep your elbows straight. And bring your arms up, 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 up. So first, get your elbows straight, number one. Regardless of how high they go, and remember that if getting your elbows straight has been a problem, you can use the belt, pressing into the belt. And bring those arms up. And the feet press down and you get long, long, long. Shoulders do come up now, but they're in the right position to do that. Then flex at the wrist, palms to the ceiling. Really stretch the palms as you come out and down. And notice where you felt that sensation in your body. Okay. And, you know, just hint. I would suggest that is a little bit more toward the lateral. This lateral part of your body gets a little bit more of that one. This one, we're going to bring the arms forward. So reestablish Tadasana, feet, legs, tailbone, pubic bone, up through the waist, let the shoulders not just settle back and down and get a little encouragement from you. Straighten your elbows, neck long, head back. This time the arms are going to be parallel going to the front. So steady yourself, firm your legs, bring your arms parallel to the front. Keep those elbows straight. Keep bringing them up. Notice what happens to your midsection as you're doing this. Keep it stable. Once you've got the arms up and elbows straight, then lift up through the shoulders. Press the feet, lift the kneecaps, and breathe. Soften the diaphragm so that breath comes. And then flex the wrist, come down. Notice where you felt a little bit more of that. Take a few breaths. And I will suggest that that one, the action is a little more centralized. First one was a little bit more peripheral, okay? Now, this one, Pauline, the lady I study with, she has been teaching this one. At first, I thought I didn't like it because it was new, I think. Now, I'm amazed by it. So Tadasana, all the things that we just discussed, put them in place. Now, you're going to bring your arms about halfway up and bend your elbows. And bring your hands like over your shoulders. Keep lifting your elbows up. Keep your elbows in towards your ears. And then straighten your arms straight up. See that your ribs are soft and that you can breathe easily. See that you're lifting equally. Notice what happens. And then bend your elbows, bring them down, and come down. What I feel about that one is that it's almost effortless compared to the other two. Requires a lot less muscular action. Notice which one you are more able to keep your arms straight, to keep your posture in line where it's meant to be, you know, where we've said it. So it's not so much what you're doing, how you do it, attitude you bring toward it, the attention you give it, all of those things. All right. So let's do, now we're going to do Utkatasana at the wall. We'll start at the wall. And then for people who want to move forward, move out to the middle of the room, you may do that, keeping your awareness very, very strong. I don't usually have this much trouble keeping myself in the picture. I don't know why it's a problem today. Anyway. So for this Utkatasana at the wall, we're going to have our feet hip width apart, toes in. Then we're going to walk our feet out, maybe 1.5 feet or so. It depends on your leg length. Some of you are quite a bit taller than me, and some of you aren't. So figure it out, because what we want to be able to do is to bend the knees so that the knees stay over the ankles and we can get the thigh parallel to the floor. So we're looking for a 90-degree angle here. I'll do this from the side. Right? Get as close as you can. Add up, draw your thighs together. Use those outer hips. The back is not to the wall, the back is forward. Okay, let's do the easy arms up. Bend the elbows, bring them up. Straighten your arms up, look up, and breathe. Bring those arms back alongside your ears. Lift your chest. All right, and then bring it in and down. You can straighten up and step up. Okay. That is vigorous. And I think this is one of those in your pocket poses that you might not think about being like that. But if you've got a low energy day going and you need to perk up, I think that'll do it. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. You can do them at the wall. If you're more practiced, if you want to do something more vigorous for yourself, step away from the wall. You have to keep the same attention and action. Okay? So if you're away from the wall, you have to be able to keep this lift as you go. And I can't go as far. I can't go as far and keep it, right? So it's instructive to work away from the wall. So unless you have an issue with it, I want to encourage everybody to try away from the wall, see what that does for you. Okay? Feet hip width, toes in. Lift up tall, Tadasana. Get it packed. Get it ready to go. Bring your arms in and up. Keep reaching for the ceiling as you bend your knees. Adduct these upper thighs. Push those upper thighs in. Keep reaching up, lift your chest. Keep bending your knees. Come up a second and then go down. Come up a second and go down. Keep breathing. And come up. Feel what that little come up, come down did? Kind of warmed up this area that we're working on. So it's good to kind of, it's good to be compassionate to these areas, I think. Okay, one more. If that really was lousy for you, go back to the wall. If you're ready for it, stay in the middle of the room. Either way is good. Do your work. Feet parallel. Scrub those heels in. That activates these upper thighs, tailbone, pubic bone, up through the waist, shoulders, head, arms. You can raise your arms straight up or bend them at the elbow as we did. So either way. Now keep from the rib cage up, moving up, and from that area down, it extends back and down. The knees bend, take it to your spot, give it a moment, come up slightly, go down again. Stretch those arms. Those arms are important in this pose. Use them. Keep them by your ears. Use them. Up again, down. Keep breathing. And go up. That'll warm you up on a cold day, right? All right. Let's just do, to rest a moment, do Uttanasana at the wall, or you can also take your blocks with you to the wall and go further. But first, stand in front of your wall, Tadasana. Take an inhale, and get the package. Keep that action. As you exhale and decide, can you really extend? No, I was too close. You have to come back and repack, extend, press the knuckles and the palm of the hand into the wall. Get the whole hand on the wall. Draw back through your shoulders. Want your arms roughly parallel to the floor. This is Uttanasana. Draw the shoulders, outer armpits down. Move back through the trunk, draw the abdomen up. Kneecaps up, hamstrings spread. And breathe. Now, if that's pretty easy for you, you can move down to your blocks, but be careful when you change. What I have found in my life, oh, this is easy for me, I said, let me go to the next one, and then I didn't pay attention. So if you transition, double up your attention, be very careful if you make that transition, and then increase your action. And if that's going well, again, you're going to increase your action, be very attentive, see if you can keep the extension, the action that you're asking for. What do you have to give up to make the change? Don't give up anything. Increase. As we move down, we should receive more, not having to give up. Keep the chest open. Keep your head lifted a bit so that it's the thoracic spine goes in. And then hands on the thighs, press the legs down, lift up. All right. Did you get that idea about transitioning? We've, speaking from personal experience, you know, the ego gets involved. And I'm doing all the right action up here. And then I can put my hands on the floor. And I just go back and go, like that. I'm not quite that bad, but you understand what I'm saying. We forget, we want to get to some place, so we're ready to do what it takes. And I say, you keep everything and move slowly and deliberately, and you'll get a lot more. Okay, Virabhadrasana 1. We're going to face the wall. If I had a Zoom camera, you would be able to see that when I step into the wall, my toes, if this was my toes, My toes are not going to the wall. My toes are going up the wall, right? I don't even know if you can see that. So instead of my toes going to the wall, my toes go up the wall. And the more I can push my toes into the wall, the more circulation those joints are going to get. Okay? So we're going to put the right foot into the wall. If you've got issues with your toes, work with them as you can. Step way back with that left foot. Then straighten yourself up just for starters. And take some breaths there. And get your hips more squared. Then we're going to draw that tailbone forward. Pubic bone resists, moves up slightly. Straighten your back leg. Press your arms straight. Shoulders move on to the back body, just as we've been doing. Lift your chest. Right leg, both legs straight. Hips equidistant from the wall. Chest lifted. Keep all of that. And begin to bend your right knee. Now, if the back leg will not stay down, that's really not unusual. But your job is to stretch it as much as you possibly can. That is an important detail in the pose, but the most important part of the pose lies between the pelvic floor and the crown of your head. We use the arms and legs to challenge our ability to maintain order there. Shoulder blades back, chest lifts, look up a little bit, lift those ribs, and breathe. This is a slight back bend, actually. And then come up and square up your feet and step together. Stand for a moment, find Tadasana, see what that pose did. Your right side should feel different than your left side. It just did something. All right, left foot at the wall. So we put those toes up the wall. And I end up having to lean forward to get a big step back, and you need a big step. And then settle that heel on the floor. Make that leg straight. Let's straighten the left leg. Don't make them so straight that you're rigid. We want to, now my hips are not ready. So now with those straight legs, I'm going to move my hips around so that I can make my hips square to the wall and more perpendicular to the floor. I hope you could see that. I was leaning forward, then pelvis went more perpendicular to the floor, which lifted everything above it, of course. And I'm stretching my finger wall, outer armpits down, chest up. Keep the back leg firm. Sit on that back leg as you bend the left knee. Keep lifting your chest, drawing the abdomen in and up, actually back and up, because it wants to go forward. Lift your chest, stretch the back leg, look up and breathe. Then straighten your legs. Square up that foot from the wall, from the back, and then step in. You see the architecture of the pose. Now, we're going to turn around. We're going to see how that works. We put the back heel on the wall. If you know that your muscles are going to be tight, you may not be ready to do this right now, but what you could do is roll up the edge of your sticky mat at the wall so that your heel may have something to press on. It helps it to straighten and be stronger, okay? So we're going to stand near the wall. We're going to step back with the left heel. The toes are turned in a little bit, and feet are not parallel in this pose. Back foot is in a little bit, the front leg is straight. Then you're going to take a giant step, and then I usually have to take another one to get far enough forward. And square up your hips. Last time I had you straighten both legs and then square your hips. That works for some, doesn't for others. You can work what you need to work to get your hips squared. And then really firm your legs. Bring that tailbone down, of course, but forward. Pubic bone up. Lift your chest. Stretch your arms up. Now, roll these outer shoulder blades forward and lift your chest up. Bend the right knee. Firm the left leg. Sit on the left hip. And bring that front leg to 90 degrees. Maybe you need some more room. Just get it. Work on it. This is very important for our balance as well as the legs and ab strength. Pull your arms back and up, look up. Breathe. And come up. Square up your feet and step in. Take a breath. Okay. Right heel back. Left foot way forward. Way forward. Heel and arch should be in line. So one here and one there. Bring them closer together. If balance is sort of an issue, not so close. Gives you more stability. But try to be at least heel to arch, if not heel to heel, if you can't make heel to arch. Square up. Lift up. Did you see that I put my hands on my hips? My thumbs are pressing my sacrum, reminding it of its job to go down. Also helps open my chest. Then bring your arms forward and up. Lift both sides of your trunk equally. The back side, your right side may be a little slower. It's already have some demand on it. So see that you lift equally. Keep that pelvis lifting as you bend this left knee. Lift your chest. You see the back bend is coming in the upper back. Bend that knee. Keep breathing. Stretch the elbows. Straighten your elbows. You could straighten them before. Straighten them now. And then come up. Square your feet and step in. So in these standing poses, the arms aren't decorative. The arms help you in the pose. They help your balance, and they help you lift this upper chest. Okay, at least two good functions of the arms in these poses. And so don't get this not just about your legs. It's about your whole self. Okay. This time is Virabhadrasana 3. So we're going to need our chair. So Virabhadrasana 3 is the one where we step forward with the right leg, step back, square the hip, lift the chest, we bend the knee, come forward. This time we're going to put our hands on the chair. We step forward, then use your arms to lift your trunk, use your legs to lift your back leg, keeping that hip down. So don't let this hip go up with your leg. Keep it level, okay? That's where we're going, okay? So, right foot forward, left foot back, nice angle, either heel to heel or heel to arch. You can have your hands on your hips, and if you do, I'll show. Having this thumbs here to push down does a couple of things. See what happened to my chest when I pushed down, right? So it helped enliven this whole area, the whole trunk. So square up your hips. Use your hands on the back to open up. Keep that openness as you bend your knee. Lean forward. Step in and lift. Press your arms on the chair. Keep your chest open. Lift your left leg up. Flex your foot. Extend it back. Extend the left waist. And breathe. Look straight ahead, not at the chair. Now keep your form. Extend the left leg back. Bend your right knee. Keep your chest lifting. Keep looking straight ahead. Extend back. That foot goes on the floor. Hands slide off the chair. Push yourself right back where you were. And square your feet. There's a bit of balance that you have to practice. Left foot forward. Right foot back. Big distance. And be a little in front of your chair, not because I was getting too close. So, get your feet where you need them to be. So you can do the pose. Square your hips. Lift up. Open your chest up. Look up a little bit. Bend that left knee. Extend the right leg. Lift your chest. Keep it lifting as you lean forward. Keep these hips compact as you lean forward. Put your hands on the chair. Come forward. So your hip is over your foot. Straighten that leg. Lift the other. Flex that foot. Pull back. Extend through your right waist. Chest forward, shoulders back. Look forward and breathe. Keep your form. Begin to bend your left knee. Stretch that right leg back. Keep your chest lifting. Slowly bring that right foot down. Straighten the left leg. Lift up. Square your feet. Step in. Beautiful. Like a ballet. All right. If that was a challenge, you repeat it that way, using the seat of the chair. If that went pretty well, thought you could maybe do a little bit more, then turn the chair around. Both of those answers are right. So there's nothing, well, there is something to be gained by overestimating your ability, and that is that you learn your limits. And so part of that's part of the educational project, the educational portion of yoga. We want to do more So we just barrel ahead because it's possible. And then we find, oh, but my whole thing just, was wobbly, and my hip was up, and everything was nasty. Work where you can work, not where you have to struggle. That's not always true. I'll take that back. Okay, stand away from your chair, because remember, we're going to go forward and slide forward. So you have to have room. You don't want this up in your armpits. It needs to be on your forearm. So step away from your chair and do a little practice run and see. And I don't want you to, unless you just have to, hold the chair. Don't hold the chair. The arms on the chair are parallel, and the chair hits you at the forearm. So if you need to hold the back of the chair, you may be better off to go back and use the seat. Okay? I'm not saying don't ever do it, but it's a process. All right, stand in Tadasana. So step with your right foot. You can take a moment to balance. Step way back with the left. Square your hips. Lift up. Both legs are strong now. Screw those legs into the hip socket. You need them there. Lift your chest. Raise your arms. Take an inhale. Keep that lift. Exhale and bend the knee. When the knee gets over the ankle, begin to extend forward. As you extend forward, come up on the toes of the back leg. Slide yourself forward. Lift up. Lift the back leg. It's all right if it's a struggle, as long as you're able to hold on to your form. Breathe. Feel the strength in that right hip. Feel the strength in the left leg. Breathe. Keep your form. Bend the right knee. Take that left leg down. Extend, extend. Come back. Push up. Square your feet. Okay, so I want to talk to you about coming out of poses. What I saw a bit of was was just letting it go. You will gain a lot by disciplining yourself to maintain the pose all the way out. You use those same muscles in reverse order. It's important for two reasons. One, intellectual, but the other one is really you're less likely to hurt yourself that way. I don't know if you've ever worked a marathon or run a marathon, but you know that runners are more likely to hurt themselves after the marathon. When they run and everything's hot, and then they go sit down and have something to drink, and they lose their posture. And that's when everything goes to hooey. So just watch it. Left foot forward, right foot back. Get a good distance. Hit your feet. Square your hips. Then work on those legs. Work the hips. Lift the chest. Shoulders back. Lift, lift, lift. Then keep the right leg. Bend the left knee. Keep the chest lifted. Lean forward. Extend your arms forward. Forearms on the chair. And let them creep forward. I've got too close. And come up. Stretch both legs straight. Press through the back heel. Look straight ahead. Keep that left femur bone in the hip socket. Keep breathing. Keep that extension as you come down. Keep that focus as you come down. Look straight ahead. Slide your arms back. Lift your trunk up and step in. Much better. Much better. Good job. Okay. Now, can get rid of the chair. You may need a strap for this. So we've been working, and you can do this at the wall. You don't need a wall. But if you tend to roll over in Anatasana, then you will maybe be okay at the wall. So what we've done is we've opened our hips, strengthened our legs, we've lifted our chest, rolled our shoulders down, because we've kept a form. So now we're going to be on the floor, Anatasana. One of the hard parts of this pose is to get this arm hit, move my chair, to stretch more, so that it goes on the floor. Especially if you've had any injuries to this area, either breast cancer or some type of shoulder issue or injury, you may need to modify this. Okay. But learning to extend this armpit on the floor, now takes some time for most people. If you're one of them, you're just fine. Mary, I have that same t-shirt. My students never wear it in class again. They felt persecuted. Okay, and this is where you'll grab your strap, have it handy. So we're good, and getting a line is important. If you're laying here all zigzaggy, then there's really nothing much to do, right? The idea is to balance yourself. So if you line yourself up, your armpit is on the edge, your hip is on the edge, and your ankle is on the edge of your mat, you have a way to measure to know if you're straight. All right, so get all that going. Armpit, look at that. Oh, my hip was almost there, and ankle. Flex your foot. Keeping that foot flexed is very important. Everybody ready? All right. So practice right now. See what happens. If you press with your heel, just lift your top leg up a minute so it's not holding you. If you press with your heel, see what happens. And then I want you to press with your toes and see what happens. Where do you feel more balanced? I'm going to suggest it's better to press with your heel, your ankle. It's more directly connected with your leg, which is connected to the hip, and so on. So press with your heel. Take a moment here, stretch out that armpit a little more. Then you bend your elbow. Your fingers point down. Now, that armpit wants to come up. You can scoot it forward a little bit. Work with it and drop that shoulder down. Now then, pick up the top leg and see how your balance is going. Bring that top leg foot forward and the knee backward. Can you reach down and grab your shin? Pull that foot forward, press your thigh backward. Press down the heel on the floor, keep your chest lifting. If you drop your chest, you've dropped your real leverage there. Now, if you're pliable and you can straighten your leg without a belt, go ahead and do that. If you need a belt, now is the time. Or if you don't have your belt, you can hold your shin. Now, my leg is forward, but it's up. So let's try to improve, right? So that right shoulder pulls down. You're going to pull that leg back and press your hip bone forward. Keep your chest lifting. The image that I used when I was learning this was that I was on a sailboat. And that when I got ready, the wind came along and just pushed my back up and open, and I was flying. Breathe. Good. Bring that down. And come over. I think you all are getting better at that. I've gotten to love this pose. I used to not like it very much. And so don't let it frustrate you if it's a challenge. If you're just feeling like a roly-poly, it's perfectly fine. Get that down. Get your armpit down. Find the edge of your mat. Look down and see if you can see the edge where your hip is and where your ankle is. And then put top foot on top of the bottom foot. Put that top arm right by your side. Lift your chest and find your balance. You just rest your head, lift your chest and find your balance. And breathe. Don't forget about that. And if you're like most people, you may find yourself rolling back and forth. Just stay at it. So then, if things are going well, slide that foot up your leg. Slide that same side arm down. Grab your shin. Press the heel down, one on the floor. Lift your chest. Keep that pelvis, the abdomen firm, pressing the tailbone forward. Pull that knee, push that thigh back, heel forward. Now then you get your strap or grab your big toe or grab your shin, stretch your leg up. And again, pull that foot back, push the hip forward, retract the shoulder blade, lift your chest, push that tailbone forward, pull the leg back. There should be a dynamic tension there. And over time, in practice, you will learn how to manage it. And breathe. Then bring that down. Slide that foot along the other one. And then roll on your back and bend your knees for a minute. And take a couple of breaths. Now then roll on your right side and come up. All right. Now we're gonna rest. I'm gonna ask you to take one of your blankets. We're gonna need 2 blankets, 3 if you need more, of course. But you can see. So this is what I call. This is considered headstand size. All right. So if I was gonna do headstand, my arms and head would fit on that. You take that. You take your hands about 1/3 of the way down this side, and you just fold it over. So you have a fold about this size. You're going to put that, about half of it, or 1/3 of it off your mat on one short end. And depending on how much head or neck support you need, you could just fold the other blanket over once and put it across the folded blanket. If you need more head support, more lift, you can repeat the same fold. For most people, one fold is enough. We're going to lay down, and so those of you that have been here many times know how you lay down is important. We want the blanket to hit us right here in the kidney area, kind of where the true ribs start. Floating ribs are down in here, true ribs start in here. So it's right about there. We want to find that place when we lay down. We want to adjust ourselves so that that's what hits the blanket when we lay down. Then, get your legs straight, get your chest lifted, and as you lay down now, press the floor with your hands, make it a little active, a bit of a lay down. Press your elbows on the floor and continue to lift your chest as you slide your forearms forward, and then bring the blanket up under your head to touch your shoulders. Take your glasses off. See if you're pleased with your result. It's fine to repeat it if you didn't end up in quite the right place. But the nice thing about this is for most people, there's room for the shoulder blades to fall off the edge of the blanket. The spine should be centered on the blanket. You can relax your legs completely. Relax your arms completely, palms up. Ideally, you're going to rest on the knuckle of your middle finger. So take a few moments, take a few breaths, adjust yourself, settle yourself in, nestle yourself in. And then at some point you decide, all right, well, that's going to be as good as it's going to get. That sounds great to me. Let's go. On an exhale, close your eyes. When you're ready, close your eyes on an exhale, allowing the eyes to recede, softening back so that the eyelids can easily and gently fold over them. And releasing the skin around your eyes, between your eyebrows, at the outer corners of your eyes, and at your cheeks, across those cheekbones. From there, let the jaw relax. It sounds a little funny, but let your nose relax. You might wrinkle your nose or flare your nostrils for a moment, and then imagine that your nose itself relaxes and that the senses of smell are turned inward. The jaw relaxes, the tongue relaxes, rests in the lower jaw, away from the roof of your mouth and away from your front teeth. Let it to be soft. And soften your temples just above your ears. Soften all around your ears. Let that softening move inward, relaxing, so that the sense of hearing is turned inward. As you continue to soften, think of softening your skin. Let your sense of touch move inward. A sense of awareness move inward as you soften the envelope of your body, your skin. Feel the movement of your breath there. Notice where you feel that movement and where you don't. And soften and accept and spread. And as you inhale, allow that inhale to sort of grow from the pelvic floor up through the pelvis, up through the ribs, and as it grows, it opens, expands to the upper chest with no effort. We're not actually doing pranayama, we're simply observing our breath and allowing it a wider range of notice, of sensation in our body. When you exhale, let it exhale from that same pelvic floor all the way up, becoming more and more narrow, softening the ribs. We have this support so the chest can stay lifted all by itself. There's no tension at all. Simply an awareness and an intention of movement, of breath and energy. I want you to continue on your own with this awareness for about 1 more minute. Slowly now begin to deepen your breath. Gently deepen your breath. Gives it a little bit more energy before you let your awareness move from there more toward the surface and gently begin to move. Start with fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, and then elbows. Bend your knees one at a time. Put your feet on the floor. Rest there. You can stretch your arms overhead. And move your knees gently side to side. You could gently bring them to your chest if that felt good. Do gentle movement that soothes you. There's no performance here. It's TLC. And then roll on your right side and rest there for a moment. And luxuriate in that moment of transition. Remembering how wonderful your body felt in the Shavasana. How the tender care for yourself was there in your Shavasana. Bring that into your daily life. As you roll forward, push yourself up to sitting. Bring that peaceful energy with you into here and now. And sit tall. Draw your legs into whatever position allows you to sit well. You can sit at the wall, you can sit on a blanket. Whatever position allows you to get your pelvis perpendicular. You can cross your legs, you can leave your legs straight. But find a way from the pelvic floor of your head to lift at the same time your legs can release down. So that this sitting position is a balanced position. Can you maintain that perfect balance? Very little effort. From the sit bones through the trunk to the crown of the head. The breath flows easily. Bring your palms together. See that the whole outer surface of the palms and the fingers touch. Thumb side just below the breast. Gently lift that skin, lift your chest, let your shoulders roll from top to bottom. Take some breaths. Close your eyes. Take a moment to be grateful for all the blessings of your life. Namaste. Thank you for coming.